Coming up on Mountain News this morning, lawmakers came to Harlan County announcing their plan to close what they call the Black Jewel loophole. And we are tracking the latest in Rockcastle County after last night's crash involving a Greyhound bus. Plus, retired NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are safe after the plane they were on ran off a runway.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 4:59 on Friday, August the 16th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, yesterday it was warm, but it was a beautiful day from there on out. I told Paige Brandon last night that she took her at 4 o'clock. She took the I-75 camera, and when the clouds moved in, it looked like an active Bob Ross painting.
Exactly, and I tell you, it was a beautiful day yesterday. I was traveling on the road for most of the day, and listen, beautiful, beautiful scene. Got hot with the sun, but the humidity was down a little bit yesterday. Not so much today. It's nice this morning, though. Let's enjoy it while we're seeing that there. US 119 up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. A few clouds overnight, but they've started to clear out this morning. We're going to continue to see some patchy dense fog this morning. Not as bad as it was yesterday, at least not yet. Temperatures 59 in Monticello now. Low 60s out toward Lake Cumberland and I-75. Some mid to upper 60s across the area. But you see those dew points starting to creep back up there. Anything past about 65 gets into that real sticky category there. Out the door forecast 89 today. We'll start in the 50s and 60s though this morning. Rest of the forecast is on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, lawmakers came to Harlan County yesterday announcing their plan to close what they call the Black Jewel loophole. Officials say the loophole was a law that required coal companies to put up bonds to protect paychecks in the event of a shutdown, but relied on the companies to do so. Officials say the pre-filed bill would revoke or suspend operations until coal companies put 4 weeks' wages in a bond.
Probably whenever this law was passed in 1986, it was probably passed in fear that this could happen, but nobody ever thought that it actually ever would. And
today, miners can meet lawyers at 11 in the morning in the Letcher County Circuit Courtroom to decide whether to cash out or roll over their 401ks into a new account. Last night, a police chase came to a fiery end in Laurel County. Take a look at this. You are looking at Mickey Wayne Grubb in a stolen car on fire behind him. Deputies say this all happened when the 18-year-old blew through a stop sign, causing police to go after him. He nearly hit 2 people and 1 trooper during the chase. Grubb lost control of his car several miles down the road and crashed. It caught fire. Grubb got out of the car and started running. Law enforcement eventually caught up to him. He faces multiple charges, including theft. They say the car was stolen. He is in the Laurel County Correctional Center. We are tracking the latest in Rockcastle County this morning after last night's crash involving a Greyhound bus. It happened on I-75 just north of Mount Vernon. Rockcastle County Emergency Management say more than 12 people were transported to area hospitals for treatment. Nick Oliver has more.
Northbound lanes of I-75 in Rockcastle County transformed from a 3-lane interstate to a roadside emergency room.
All of a sudden, we hit something. I didn't even know what it was.
Oh my God, what just happened?
Our cameras were rolling as emergency officials tended to several victims. Crews say a collision between a large truck and a Greyhound bus, 1104, traveling from Atlanta to Cincinnati, caused several injuries, all of which were passengers from the bus that had just departed London. 15 people were transported to hospitals in Berea, Richmond, and Rockcastle County.
I just felt someone swerving, and next thing you know, it was like an impact, and like everybody just like flew forward, and then like was glass everywhere, and everybody was screaming and crying.
Traffic was backed up for miles while crews worked this scene. Now the remaining passengers just glad to be okay and out of the bus.
I feel like I helped out and I did what was right.
Joseph Harness from South Carolina and traveling to Oregon was one of the first to react after that crash. He says 2 women were pinned in the front, so while they were getting help, he found another way out for everyone on board.
What ended up happening was I ended up holding the window open for everybody who was trying to get out of the bus because we couldn't get out the front.
Officials have not released what the cause of that accident was or who is to blame. They say that will take time and a thorough investigation.
Unfortunately, I wasn't hurt, but it was like, gosh, they all got hurt. So it's kind of like, darn, I wish I could have helped some more, but At least they getting help now, though.
In Rockcastle County, Nick Oliver, WYMT Mountain News.
The interstate is now back open. Officials have not released how serious some of these injuries are. There was a tractor trailer involved crash on Highway 80 last night. Right now, we do not know if there were any injuries. This happened near the hazard turnoff. Kentucky State Police, local fire departments, and other agencies were there. Both lanes were temporarily closed, but have since reopened. Retired NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are safe after the plane they were on ran off a runway in Elizabethton, Tennessee yesterday afternoon. Two pilots, the racing legend, his wife Amy, and their one-year-old daughter and their dog were all on board. All made it off safely. Officials say the Cessna jet rolled off the end of the runway, through a fence, and slid onto a highway. Earnhardt was attended to by paramedics on the scene. The 44-year-old was taken to the hospital and later released.
He's probably one of the number one, idols that anyone in racing, could ever have. So to know that he's okay is definitely huge.
Federal investigators are now on their way to try and figure out what happened. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us right here on Mountain News this morning. Later, today is a special one for those of you out there who love roller coasters.
Nope, not doing it. While it's not too bad this morning, the Triple H threat is back as we head deeper into the weekend. I'll talk more about it coming up.